Okay, so we have the Pathfinders here. They've obviously deployed right on the center objective. They're in base contact. So, we're wondering, how are we going to counter this? Okay, so we're going to just do a basic, what I think of as basic for the Pathfinders, kind of standard. You got HQ uplink, which is what you need to successfully do a box grab. Recon intel, this will help you in a later deployment. So if you deploy out of range 3, because that's what infiltrate says, then you can scout move back into range 3 and then unload right away. So you would be able to use the range 3 blasters, which is really nice. And then I just threw piston on there, whatever. So we're going to be talking about how to counter this. Okay, so first thing that we need to take a look at are battle cards. And you'll see why this is probably the most important part, that you understand or have a good understanding when going to a tournament of how this is going to work out. So, worst case scenario, you run up against a Pathfinder list, they get blue player, and then in the third spot is recover. So they're going to be spending both their actions, obviously, to get to that recover. Now we're going to take a look at the deployment, and this is very important that you understand this. So I put these 3 at the bottom because you need either battle lines, major offensive, or advanced positions. And this is important because of the range 1 band that you get from the board edge. With disarray and long march, you're too far away from the center to pull off any counterplays. So, in a competitive tournament, when you bring a battle deck, you get rid of one. I imagine they're going to get rid of one of these 3 as a Pathfinder blue player. They're probably going to eliminate 1. So let's just say they get rid of battle lines, right? So now we're left with 4. And we have 2 good ones and 2 bad ones. So you do not want to play on these 2. You want one of these 2. So mathematically, right, let's say at random this one is the one that got pulled out, and then it looks something like this, right? So you are going to need to push to one of the range 1 bands to successfully counter, whether it be advanced positions, major offensive, or battle lines, because these 3 put you directly at the center and 1 away. Advanced positions probably being the best because you get a free scout 1 movement on top of that. Okay, so you successfully picked one of the deployments where you get a range 1 band away. So now we're going to be looking at what is a powerful counter. So for the Empire, one of the best counters is going to be snow troopers, okay? So, in particular, snow troopers with the recon intel upgrade. So what recon intel lets you do is obviously you get to do a speed 1. So I'm 1 range away. Then I get to do a scout 1 move. So this is during deployment, obviously. So look at how close I am already to the Pathfinders. I'm like a little over range 1 away. You can see that. So I can obviously double move and get a flame off, or even single move and get a flame off with the recon intel. Now if you don't have recon intel, you're okay because you're still within a good range 2 out of your deployment. So you're able to still do a double move So let's just say I did a double move. Boom. So that's 2 speed 1 moves, cohesion, whatever. And then, boom, range 1 away. Flame them, cook them. And with the white saves and without danger sense kicking in yet, you're probably going to cook them. So that relies on you being able to go first, right? So in a Han list, if they play Sorry About the Mess, the 0 pip card, then you're kind of toasted. But with a Leia list, when they play the Coordinated Bombardment and then use HQ uplink on them, right, they're going to have an order. So you need to at least tie it for a 50-50 split. So imagine you have these flame troopers and you have Veers in your list. Well, nothing's going to change really for you because you're playing maximum firepower round 1. So it's going to be a dice roll, and 50-50 dice roll, boom, I got it, or they got it, whatever. I don't think that they're going to risk on a 50-50, but we'll see. So there's one counter. A second counter for the Empire is any palp list, really, and I'll explain why. So if you play this card, give into your anger, right? You can make whoever you want to go, which is not going to be them. It's going to be some other scrappy unit, right? You have many options that you can do now. So let's say you have the guard, and nowadays I would give recon intel to my guard going into tournaments so that I could have a counter for this. So boom, I get to give an order to Palpatine as well as the guard for free, right? So now they have an order, and I'm easily within charging range, right? So that's a counter. Or you could do the same thing with the snows. You get your Scout 1 to about there, and then you could even aim and move now. So there's a lot of counters with Palp. He's probably the best against it. Okay, so another counter is going to be Boba Fett with the Whipcord launcher. So we'll just play the case where you don't have Boba Fett with recon intel on him. So we're just going to do his speed 3 movement, right? And we only want to get to a point where we're in range 1 of it. So we don't need to go any further than that. So let me just get the range 3 and I'll be back. Okay, so Boba Fett's range 3 would get him very close. We don't even need to go that far. Let's see how far we need to go. Probably, I don't know, only about to here. So we move Boba Fett to about there. Boom. He whipcords them. They're now immobilized. They're not going to be moving this round. And you have your entire army. Let's say you got some DLTs. They're already within range 3 of them, so they can just hammer away. No problem. So then your second move with Boba, maybe you got a nice trained piece blocking. You can just move him and get him out of dodge. So then, let's see, we were left with like Vader or a generic case. I don't consider either of those to be really viable options at the moment right now. But Vader would probably need either recon snows, and you need ambush. Same thing with the generic commander. Vader wouldn't be able to get there. He could lightsaber throw, but what's that going to get you? Maybe 1 damage. That's as far as a Vader move would get you. So he'd probably need a flame group to get in there. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at if you're playing Rebels. And Rebels are kind of, they only got really one trick. And that is Luke Skywalker. So you probably heard Orchimedes talking about this on the podcast last week. But I'm just going to do a visual of it. So Luke with recon intel, it's probably probably the best that you can do, but then you lose stim, so it's kind of one of those trade-offs. So if I do recon intel, then he gets a scout 1, right? Or if we have advanced positions. Advanced positions, always the best. If you can get that one, go for that one. So Luke did a scout 1. We're still a little out of range. So Luke has to do Son of Skywalker to tie, right? We're all about tying coordinated bombardment. Again, if they have Han, it's kind of iffy. You're probably not going to be able to counter this one. You probably want to go backfield or attack their other one. Anyways, so Luke, I assume, has force push. I would recommend everybody bring force push on Luke. So he just needs to be range 1 away. So what we're going to be doing is essentially moving him to that range 1 threshold. So we just got him in range 1. Actually, we can even move him back a little. Then you can force pull them. So you can do a speed 1 move. And then you can also cohesion. And Luke still has an action yet. So he could actually move into base to base, boom. Now 114 plus points worth of dudes, you're going to take out no problem. The case where they do successfully get the box grab off, right, so they need to spend an action to get this box picked up. Then their second action will be to move, I assume. So they're going to move back here. They're going to put their dudes, out of even further away because they don't want you to shoot you. Or they don't want to be shot at. So they put the box, something like that, right? So now Luke looks pretty far. This is the case where you absolutely need recon intel on Luke. So recon intel or advanced positions. First move action. Let's just assume that this X-Wing isn't in the way. So first action to there, right? He's going to have to do another move over here. And then force pull them into base contact. So that's really the only rebel counter, other than maybe deploying your own Pathfinders in a crossfire or something that can pick off these dudes, or you harass their other objectives, backfield objectives. So let me know what you guys think. I think there's a lot of counters, so I don't think we're going to have a key positions type of thing. But certainly in the case where they have Han and they play the 0-pip with HQ uplink on these guys, they're getting away for sure. So you're going to have to take that into account. You're going to have to be ready for that. That one will be tough. You're probably going to have to advance a lot because they're going to have 1, 2, and then their other one, whatever, 3 or whatever, and you only got 2. So you're going to have to push one of these. So good luck in that case. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys have been countering them or what's been best